Hello. Hello, good afternoon. I'm used to saying good morning, but I couldn't make it on this morning. So here we are this afternoon. So hopefully we might be able to catch some different people who normally can't make it in the mornings. So welcome, welcome. Please say hello if you are watching live. I will see your comments as we go along. And if you're watching the replay, thank you so much for that as well. And I hope you learn some new things, and we'll try to make it for the next live if that's your thing. If not, watch the replay. That's fine too. So as I see some people hopping on, don't forget to leave a comment, say hello. And I just want to remind you, this has been a great celebration season. A lot of people have gotten lot of fun free things with the celebration. Remember, you pay $60 and you get to pick something from the celebration brochure. Yeah, which I should have in front of me, right? You would think I'd have that. Hold on one second. Oh, okay, here we go. All right, ta-da, here we are. So not only are things available from this brochure, but there are some online editions that you can also choose from. So just type in celebrations. If you haven't yet placed your order, you have until 11:59 p.m. Mountain Time. Okay, so translate that to your time zone, and that's what you have until. So how many of you have taken advantage of the celebrations? Okay, just if you're on, leaving comments, just mention if you had the opportunity to get some free stuff. Right, free is always good, right? Always good. And just speaking of free, at the end of our demonstration today, I'm going to talk about the join offer. There's still time for that too, 11:59 tonight, Mountain Time, and it is, as I said in one of my emails this morning, it is one of the most amazing join offers. If you love the markers, if you don't, it's still a great deal because you can add on $30 worth of product. Lots of great free items still available. Thank you, Crystal. Yep. Okay, some nice. 3 times Patty ordered. Okay, she's a demonstrator, so she's enjoying her discount, right, Patty? In addition to the celebration, when you're a demonstrator, you also can take advantage of the celebration offers or any other offer that Stampin' Up! Gives, like the free shipping days or whatever. But you can also pre-order things as a demonstrator. So all great. Hi, Suzanne. Nice to see you today. Okay, good. I'm so glad you're watching. I usually communicate with Suzanne on comments on YouTube after when she's watching the replay. I'm glad you could be on live today. Hi, Shirley and Joyce and Crystal and Susan. Hi, Susan. New to our channel. Oh, I'm so glad you joined us. Thank you. I'm about to offer Sue from Massachusetts. All right, excellent. All right, you still have snow up there, Susan? I had some friends in New Hampshire and Vermont that said they got some snow just the other day. Good for skiing still. So all good. All right. Hi, Susan R. Nice to see you on. 75 degrees in Florida. Okay, so we got all this, the all the climate extremes, right? We got snow, we got 75 degrees. That sounds lovely down in Florida. Okay, Patty's in South Carolina. Hopefully you're doing okay too. All right, so nice to see people hopping on. And please don't forget to leave some comments. I can't see who's on unless you say a hello or something. And there's Joanne. Joanne's a new part of the Daisy team, if you don't mind me saying. She joined during the celebration. She got some extra things in her starter kit too. So she's very happy about that, I know. All right, so we are going to hop into the project right away, and then we'll do some time to talk about the join offer later. So even if you're not thinking about joining right now, maybe you've just always been curious, okay, what's it all about? Maybe someday down the line, it might be something to consider, or maybe you didn't know you should consider it, but maybe you'll learn something and say, hey, yeah, I can do that. So whatever. Hang on later on if you care to, and we'll chat a little bit. Jot down your questions because I'll answer anything. Don't ask them right now because I'm in project mode, and we'll talk about that later on. Okay, so hi, Joan. Favorite neighbors. Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, you don't see more people my age are Lorraine's. Okay, I don't see any younger people Lorraine really, but actually, I had a student once whose name was Lorraine, but she spelled it with one R. I have two. So anyway, I'm going to switch my other camera down, and like I said, we're going to jump right into it today. Thank you for joining me late. I had grandchildren over last night, and was supposed to take a little one to preschool, but it was kind of like coughing night, and I was up at 2:30 and 3:30, and trying to tend to that, and just wasn't 100% to go to school. So I had to stay home with that little one, but that's okay. Doing better. And like I said, this way I get to maybe see some different people. So it's good to mix things up a little bit. All right, let me add my other camera here, and we will swap. Put the big one down here. So here's a clue of something we're going to be using today. I wonder if my friend Michelle is on from Canada, because, well, if I see her on, I'm going to give a little shout out to her. So I'll wait until if I see her on. She gets on in the morning with me sometimes so let's see. Anyway, this little guy from this cute set, Hearts and Hugs. Now, maybe you've looked at this and say, yeah, it's cute, but I don't know. I don't really need that. Let me tell you a little story. I was up in New York, and one of my stamping friends, oh, hi, Michelle. Oh, I want to talk about you too. My friends saw the card we made at the workshop and said, oh, I skipped over that stamp set so many times, but that little guy is just so cute. So cute. We used this little chipmunk guy, and not chipmunk. I always say chipmunk. Not a chipmunk. Hamster. Kind of gerbil or hamster. Who knows? One of those guys. Call him what you want, but he is cute. You have to call him cute. Definitely cute. So anyway, I was at convention last year called On Stage, and it's just for demonstrators, and we get to preview the new annual catalog early. Right, we pay for the convention, but we get a brand new catalog early. That's March, when it starts for customers in May, and we get to see a lot of presentations of products from that new catalog. So there was a lovely lady, Michelle, who demonstrated some cards from this set, and they were just adorable. We all fell in love. It was just, oh, so cute. Even if you don't, it's not necessarily a kid's set, but it obviously could be. It doesn't have to be, is what I'm saying. So she had some fabulous cards, and then I got to meet her on our trip in Mexico. We did some activities together, and now we stay in touch online and Facebook and whatever. But anyway, so Michelle, this a shout out to you. Me loving this set. It comes with dies that cut out the critters, the badgers, the walrus, and the mouse. Okay, all the little things. Plus, you have some add-on dies. You have a trio of flower stems, and you have 4 hearts that are connected to on each die, which is nice. You don't have those little tiny ones to lose, and you have multiples. And then you also have flowers. You have 2 individual ones and a double one here. That cuts them out singly. So if you do all these, you get 4 flowers. Plus a very versatile banner. This can go on a lot of things, but it's made especially to fit these thin little sayings up here. Okay, having to do with love and hugs, but it isn't necessarily Valentine's Day. So just whenever I'm sending a big hug, I'm a hugger. Okay, show me hearts or thumbs up if you're a hugger. I am. So it's nice sending a big hug. That's one of the nicest things you can say. I could just hug you. Sending a big hug, so it's there when you need it. You have something you can put on the inside. Sending birthday hugs, and of course, there's a thanks. So it's nice that they're if they're small. And of course, if you're using a smaller sentiment that fits this wide banner, you can always, if you're cutting it here, you can always move your banner over and then cut it again to make it smaller. Move your die over. So there's ways around that. So there you go. So let's get to work. This is a fun card that I think some people are calling a flip-flap card, because you kind of open it one way and it flips, and whatever you call it. It's a fun fold card. So I did all my die cutting ahead except one thing, so I don't need this one anymore. I'm going to put that back so I don't lose anything. My granddaughter was helping me today. She knows how to make the sandwich and crank the machine, and we were preparing. She was helping me prepare for today, so that was nice. Okay, so here is the card we're doing today. All right. Hi, Jackie. Nice to see you. Hope everybody's well at your house. So this part kind of is that flip-flap element. Let me take my post-it note that tells me my measurements. And it kind of opens like this. So it's kind of a Z-fold in a way, but it's very easy to do. Uses very minimal materials, because this is all just one piece of cardstock, and then we have this on top as the other element. So you don't need extra pieces to attach this to here. This is all part of your card base. I'm going to show you how to cut that. 3 pieces of DSP. This one and this one are the same measurement. So that's 5 1/4 tall. It makes sense because your cord is 5 1/2, right? So 5 1/4 tall. The front panel and this other inside panel are both 2 2/3 wide. 2 2/3 wide. And then this little guy over here is 1 1/2. So you could have them all the same pattern, or this one I decided just flip over just to have some contrast. So then you still have some room to write in here. All right, the die, this arch, is from, this is how you can mix and match products and product suites. This is from Garden Meadow. Okay, so you have that nice arch there, which again, I've already die cut. We have that here. And what I was very happy to see is there is a new set of dies that has all different shape, different size arches. All right, it's on the online exclusives. Check this out. I'm going to take it out of the case so you don't see the glare. Everyday Arches dies. You have so many sizes of arches here that you can do similar things like this with, or you can cut multiples of these and layer them to get rainbows, different colors. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. 10 different size dies. It's a great bargain. This could have a little image on it, or that can be your sentiment. And then as you get bigger, you can use them in different ways. You can layer them in different amounts, have a wider mat on your background, or something skinny. Use them, use every other one if you want. So many options. So when I first made this card, I had seen another demonstrator do it, and I apologize. I will try to figure out who I saw do it and give them credit in my description. But I thought it was adorable. And it didn't use the dies. She used rectangles, which of course you can do, but I just thought it was extra fun to have the dies. Now I had ordered this, but it hadn't arrived yet. So I said, oh, I know I have another arch. So I went to the Garden Meadow set and I used that arch there. That's where that comes from. Again, let me put this back a second. The little hearts that are above this hamster. Actually, I do need that die set over there again. Oh, okay, I have it out already. So part of this is an arch of hearts. Cuts out those little hearts right there. All right. So not only can you use them on this part where you're making use of the negative space, but of course it punches them all out, and then you're left with a lot of smaller hearts if you want to use them. So if you're cutting them out of colors, you can do that, or use white and red or pink or purple, not have a mixture. You have a lot of those little hearts, so you can use both parts of them very effectively. Okay, so that is part of this set here. And I left it out because I'm going to do that on here so that you can see it. I just wanted you to see that arch on its own first. Okay, so coffee and a card, but I'm drinking water this afternoon. I already had 2 cups of coffee today. That's enough. Actually, 1.5. But anyway, it's too late in the day for me to start having more caffeine. So it's okay, whatever you're drinking. Cheers. Thanks for watching. Okay. So what is that? Hold on. Something just happened. It's playing. Music. I don't know what it's playing. All right, hold on 1 second, guys. Hmm. Oh boy. Did I lose you? Here we go. Okay, I'm sorry. That was strange. Something started playing all of a sudden. Okay, 2 feet of snow, Susan. All right. Okay. Well, that's nice. And Suzanne has snow, not as much as a week or two ago. All right, good. Well, it's getting there. Thank you, Susan Rowe. Um, my granddaughter's doing a little better. Hopefully, she gets a better night's sleep tonight. So she stayed nice and calm today, so that's good. All right, so we're going to lay out this card a little bit. I'm using, this is one of my favorite papers. Oh my gosh, I keep having favorite papers. I'm sure you do too. So, and this is those dies, those arch dies were everyday arches. Well, this is everyday happiness. This is DSP. There are only 3 patterns. The good thing is there are 4 sheets of each of those patterns. So if you love it, you're going to have plenty to use, which I just love because it uses Lost Lagoon, Pretty Peacock, and Wild Wheat. And looks to me like there's some smoky slate in there. I don't know if I wrote down the colors all together yet. Mossy Meadow, Lagoon, Gray Granite. Okay, that's the gray color. Wild Wheat, Very Vanilla, Peacock, Pecan Pie. All right, so nice, soft, subtle colors. And each of these has texture to it that looks sort of like linen. Right? If you think you see texture on here, you're right, it's visible, but you don't feel it. I wonder if you can see this up close. But I just love the color combination. So pretty, kind of springy, but not your typical, pinks and light greens, which is all great. But I just love the softness of this, and the texture looks so real, probably because it's like photographed. So here are your patterns. You have this with those flowers on the back. You have these little speckles, almost look like raindrops in a way. And then you have a washed look on the back. And then you have this wild wheat with these little starbursts on there. And you have your plaid there. So those are your only 3. You have 4 sheets of each, which is great because I love these so much. They're going to get used. If I only had 2, they'd be gone in no time. I'm very happy to see that. Hi, Tanya. Nice to see you. Oh, you love it too, Susan? I know. It's one of my favorite color palettes too. Oh, very, very nice. So here we go. Here's our card. Your card base is whatever is typical card base for US anyway, 8.5 by 5.5. So it's half a sheet of cardstock. For my cards that I do in just white, I use the thick cardstock because our regular white is thinner than the colored cardstock, which makes it good for layering. But if I want my card base to be firmer like the colored cardstock, I use the thick white. So if you're unfamiliar with that, you know, it is in the catalog and you can look it up online. All right, so now our scoring is going to look like this. I put some, I don't know if you could see this. I will take a picture of it and put it in the comments of my next post related to this video. All right, so 8.5 by 5.5. We're going to score at 4 1/4 like you normally do. Okay, and half at 4 1/4. But then you're also going to score it at 7 1/4. So 4 1/4, you'll move it on over to 7 1/4 and score it there. So that's 3 inches wider. And then you're going to turn it this way, and you're going to score at 1 1/2 over and 4 inches. Okay, so 1 1/2 and 4 inches. So you're going to have this, and then this is going to fold back. All right, now you saw my message on the back, perhaps. We are going to cut away these little corners. So that little flap that's left is going to be what we attach our element to. Now this, like I said, could be a rectangle. It could be a circle, especially something as pretty like from Spotlight on Nature. Okay, those are a great size circles to put on the card. Okay, this is the second to biggest. The biggest one would fit on here as well. So see what you can do with it, and share your creativity with us. We love to see other ideas. Okay, so probably can't see right here, but I do have my score lines already on here. I'm going to make sure they're nice and creased. Phone folder, and like I said, that flap is going to be folded back toward the front. Back toward the front, is that an oxymoron? Back toward the front. It's going to be folded upward on the front of the card. How's that? There you go. All right. So now I'm going to cut on that edge and where my score line went over here. So I often like to use some big scissors on this, but these are small cuts, so I don't mind using my snips. And it's going to be covered, at least these cuts are. So you don't have to worry about being super neat with it because it will be covered. Now, as far as cutting these, if you're comfortable with your scissors, go ahead, or you can always cut down to there with your trimmer if you prefer to do that and be maybe a little more precise. But you do have the score line there to guide you. And I would say you can do it in one sweep. I needed a little extra there for my snips. Okay, there we go, straight down. Okay. Maybe those could be a little sentiment sometime or patchwork look. So this is what we're left with. You don't have to attach another flap to there, which would give your card more bulk. So this is going to be saving on materials, and it's going to also keep your card a little bit thinner. Okay, so I'm going to just make sure I have no edges on those parts that I just cut away from. All right, so I'm going to use this pattern this time, these roses, and I'm going to use, I'm going to use the back of this just to use a different one this time, and then my small piece is going to be the same as the front. So we're going to attach that onto the front. Okay. Super easy. Like I said, this is 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. Put that right there. For those of you who like the in colors that include wild wheat, moody mauve, Pebbled Path, Boho Blue, and pecan pie. No, I'm sorry, copper clay, not pecan pie. Pecan pie is a new color. Oh, we're good. All right. If you like those in colors, they are retiring. And I will let you know that once the retiring list goes out, those are anything with those colors, the paper, the inks, the refills, those are the things that go first. So if you love those colors, you have the ink pads, make sure you have the refill, and make sure you have enough paper to sustain your your use of your inks, vice versa. And order them now. Because they will not go on sale. Some of the things that retire go on sale, but it's not going to be the inks and the papers. I'll tell you that. So order them right now. In fact, order them today. It'll go towards your celebration before it ends tonight, midnight Mountain Time. Then this piece is going to go over there. So then when this is closed, that's the same. You can mix and match. You can make it something different if you want. These designs are meant to mix and match and go so well together. But I'm just going to keep it the same because I'm going to use that stripe pattern on my next card. So that's why I have example of all the patterns. All right, so that's just going to go there. I'm leaving the same amount of space on my right side as I have on top and bottom. So again, this is 5 1/4, just like the other pieces, but it's 1 1/2 wide. You can make it even more if you want it, but you want room to write. So 1 1/2 is a good size. Okay, now on here, this is what our element is going to go onto. And because this is the part that's interactive, we're going to put some tear and tape on that. You want nice, strong adhesive. So use your Seal Plus or tear and tape. Glue works also, but I don't know, sometimes I just have a little more confidence in the tear and tape. Okay, I'm going to make sure it's pressed down nicely. I'm going to leave that covered until I get my other piece on there. Okay, so that's our base. Now we get to decorate and have the fun, extra fun here. We're going to run this through the die cut machine to cut out those hearts. And this one will fit on the mini, so I brought that in here. Look at all my washi tape on there. Keep it handy for when I need it. So like on here, I don't want it vibrating and wriggling off as I run it through. So this, like I said, works. So I'm going to just measure it here and use that washi. I especially like the washi when it's not full strength sticky, because I don't want it pulling on my paper. So often if I can, I try not to put it, I put it just a tiny bit on the paper, and I will actually tape it to the bottom plate. Okay, there we go. And then run that through. And it goes nice and easily. Now, always carefully and slowly peel any washi tape that's on there. I usually find peeling it at an angle rather than just straight across, or even mixing it up, pull it this way, then that way, and alternate. It definitely helps. Okay, look how cute, right? And then you also have these little hearts to play around with. So all 7 of them. If you keep them, if you have them there, they don't go flying someplace else. Oh, the other one's in there. There we go. Okay, put that aside. And we are going to now decorate this, but we're going to stamp a little guy on there first. So this is what I like to do. I like to use, for something like this, I'm going to put the sentiment on. I like to stamp them both at the same time, especially since after I did all this die cutting, and I don't want to risk my sentiment being crooked. So I'm going to grab that set. This is where your grid paper comes in handy as well. I'm going to arrange this guy on here. Now I want to leave room for the flower. So you want to kind of plan it out a little bit. On this one, I actually used Shy Shamrock and Petunia Pop. Those are some of the new in colors. But as you can see, I cut up some of these stems to split them on either side because I didn't really think about where this should be. So I like to kind of mix things up a little bit, do some things a little differently. So I'm just wondering, maybe this time if I have the flowers a little bit lower, I'm wondering if there will be room to maybe put the sentiment on top. So maybe I could put just the thanks on top. I haven't used thanks yet. And that's a small one. So I'm going to get that out here. Oh, here's one of my other little tricks. I'll tell you two of them, actually. This thanks and all of these are pretty much a rectangle, right? But sometimes they're just maybe slightly bigger on one side or the other, fitting back into the rubber. I always like keeping the base rubber because it holds them in better. They're not going to fall out and get lost. So, but these definitely fit in a certain way, this way as opposed to this way. And I'm a little particular that way. I like them to fit in nicely. So I've shown this before, but I'll show again in case you haven't seen. I put a little Sharpie mark on the corner on the stamp, and then on the matching corner on the background, the piece that holds them in. So that way I know the direction it's going to be when I return it. Okay, so, the other thing I did, maybe it's just a silly thing. These middles pop out so that you don't accidentally stamp something on there, get too much ink on there. But so these pop out, you can throw them away because they're really not needed and part of the set. But I've saved mine. There's two here and one there, because sometimes I'll just put those little random shapes on something and ink them up and stamp with them, just to have some kind of a fun background. I've done that with a card I made for my swap on stage last year. I used the inserts to some other stamp set. So that was fun. All right, so we're going to try putting the thanks up on top here. And I'm going to arrange it. Now, as you know, with the rubber stamps, you're putting the decals on yourself. And sometimes, either fault of my own or how it's printed, sometimes it's slightly off than what's actually on the rubber. So I always test it first, because if it's a little crooked, I can then fix it. So I'm going to just arrange it on here how I think it looks. I'm going to arrange my little guy on there also, right where I want him. And I could always put him to the side and have thanks over here. I'm just noticing that. That way he'll be a little bit higher. And there might be a little bit more room for flowers. Ooh, let's do that. See, think of things off the top of your head. I'm going to do that. It almost looks like his hand is going out saying, thanks. Right? Giving a gesture of thanks. All right, that's what we'll do. Either way, I'm going to now pick those stamps up with my block. And then when I stamp them, I can stamp them both at the same time and they'll be in the perfect place. Now, let's see here. I'm looking back here. It looks like it's slightly crooked. So I'm going to just straighten it a little bit. And I'm going to test it on my grid paper to see if I can stamp it straight. Because those lines will tell me. All right, so that's what I did here when I was making my other card. I'm going to line that up the bottom of the word thanks according to where I see one of those lines. And looks pretty good. Pretty good. Slightly high on the thanks, on the T part. So I'm going to move it down just a tad. But you know what? If the lines were not there, I would not notice it. It's that small. But I will try it again just to see. One more time. Okay. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you for liking and sharing, Joan and Susan. Thank you. Anybody else? I really appreciate that. All right. I think that looks good enough. Might be a hair off, but like I said, without the grid lines, no one's going to notice. So here we go. Let's ink him up. Another good way to do this is if you have a stamp positioning tool, the Stamparatus that Stampin' Up! Used to have has been discontinued. So if you have that, you can use that. Or Misty is another brand that people use right now too. All right, here we go. Let me bring it under me more. Sorry if I'm in the way. Okay. And ta-da! Isn't he adorable? My friend Nadine, he agrees. He is adorable. So cute. All right, now we have to color him. Before I put the flowers on, I'm going to color him using Stamping Blends. I'm going to do a little light bubble bath on his hands, a little inside of his hands, inside of his ears, and a little bit on his feet. Doesn't have much fur on his feet, right? Okay, so just a little light touch there. And this really is an easy one to color. I'm going to use light and dark crumb cake. Okay, and that seemed to be a nice color that I like. So I usually like to start with a dark and just go around some outlining, and I like to maybe add a little bit where there might be shadows, like under the chin, or I try to imagine, well, if light is shining this way, then maybe a little bit on this side might be a little darker. It makes things look a little more realistic. So also parts that are more forward are going to look lighter because that's where the light is hitting. So the center of his face and maybe his belly might be popping out a little bit. All right, so all right, I'm going to use this. Oh, it looks like my tip is not as good shape as it could be. That's not great. Now, sometimes when a lot of people are using it, that happens. All right. So kind of where these lines are, where the little, you see the edging of the fur, you can add some color, just kind of outline that a little bit. And don't have to worry about being so totally precise. You don't want like a straight line because that wouldn't happen in nature so much. I'm putting a little extra underneath his chin here, and I will pretend the light's coming this way. So maybe this side might be a little heavier on that. Okay, I'm going to do his nose a little pink also. And then his belly sticking out, I'll keep that a little lighter. So after I have sort of an outline here, then I'm going to take my lighter color and go over it and blend it. I wonder if I can put this a little down lower for you. Oops, sorry. No, I'm sorry. My clamp is a little tight, so I'll bring it up to you every once in a while so that you can see better. Okay, so there you go. So now I'm going to take my lighter crumb cake. And all right, so this tip is a little bit better shape. Okay, sometimes, like I say, I had it at a workshop, and sometimes this one's a little better, a little bit better shape. But okay, so now I'm going to go over the dark, and You might not notice it blending right away, but when it gets wet, then it's going to start like sucking the color into each other a little bit, and you will see the variations of the shading. Okay, so I'm going to, like I said, leave a little bit of his belly lighter. So I'm going to let this dry first. I'll come back to it. You can see I didn't go all the way in because I'm going to come back over it with this light color. And then this will be a single layer of color. This will be the double layer of color. And then that will be the darker color altogether. That makes sense? Okay, so it is really forgiving. And especially when you see this cute little face, who's going to care? Because you got a cute face. It will all be good. I'm not going to be looking at the coloring techniques. Okay, so now I'm going to come back over it all. Where I already colored will be a little bit darker, and the inside will be a little lighter. Because I go over it till it gets a little wet again, and then it will blend. And because his belly is round, I'm going to use some rounded strokes here. And just blend some of those white places a little bit better. And voila! We've got cute little guy. You love him? Yeah, okay. So very cute. Adorable. Oh, I said I was going to give him a pink nose, right? Here we go. You have two tips on these, a hard felt tip and a soft brush tip. So with this, I can use that other hard one there. Okay. There we go. He's adorable. All right, so let me see how I want to use my flowers here. I might just use the shorter ones here and then maybe have some taller ones coming up over here. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do is going to cut this guy down, give it a little trim. Okay, for now, I'm just going to cut that down and maybe put a flower on it, but I won't cut the whole thing until I know exactly what I'm doing. It's good to have an idea though, right? And this one's, I think it's going to have a little more flowers than the other one. I'm going to make this one go up a little. And, well, you know what I might do? I think I'll cut here. Make this a little round. So this one will be higher. It's going to be like different patches. And then this one I can have lower, just overlapping. But I want to smooth out that rough edge right there. I don't want it to look, I want it to look like it was cut. Make it rounded like the rest of the patch of grass, I guess you can call it. And I will stagger these little things. I have to remember there will be flowers there. So, and I'm not worrying if it's overlapping the stitching on the arch because it's okay. I think that's all right. Another thing you can do, which would be adorable, is to die cut this guy out and have him popped up as well. I just didn't want to take that time necessarily. So in staggering this, I don't want to make it look too low, medium, high. So I'm putting the left one a little bit higher, remembering the flowers are going to go there. And then I'll have these things here. Okay. It's going to be a very full bloom garden patch. And one thing about these dies, there is enough room for you to dot your glue. You don't have to use adhesive sheets or fine tip special glue or whatever. That's good. All right. There's still some room for flowers. Uh-oh, I want that a little bit higher. Oh, come up, come up. Just a little bit. All right, there we go. And this guy a little lower. All right, he is sweet, right, Joanne? Oh, Adorable. And this one can go a bit higher and fill in some space over here. Like it's a little hilly garden. All right. There we go. And I can even bend this a little bit before the glue dries. That's the nice thing about the glue. Okay, looks cute, right? Okay, now what I did was I cut out, to go with the color palette, I cut out some wild wheat and some Lost Lagoon flowers. I'm going to stagger different flowers here. So I like to just take my glue, put a dot on there, and stick the flower on. And do this guy next. And maybe I will do another lagoon, but put a little mini dimensional on the back. Oops, hello. I'm sorry. I still have a landline. I get spam calls. Okay, put that one a little bit lower. There we go. Let's add another wild wheat. And okay, I'll mix those up there. Another lagoon and a wild wheat on top.
Hello, I am calling regarding your investment with the Pioneer Fund.
Oh my goodness. Spam. Spam, spam, spam. I'll put a dot under this one too. Oh boy. I'm sorry. I love the ones, the spam calls that say, oh, all your past debt on your taxes is being forgiven. I'm like, yeah, all right, thanks. You know, that's not me. And had I known that, maybe who would have had to pay taxes if you know what's going to be forgiven? All right, so we got a nice full garden there. He's very happy. We're going to attach that to the card. And remember I put tear tape on that? And we're going to attach it. I'm going to attach it not too low because I don't want that flap showing through the heart. But if you just had a square or something, then it wouldn't, if you didn't die cut that see-through pattern, then it wouldn't matter. You can put it however you want. So actually I'm going to put it just about there. So it's a little higher than center. But then, you know what, if you really wanted to, you can work out where you cut this. You can have less down here and more up here and just have this flap a little lower if you needed it. But I think this is fine. And then cut this. I'm just going to open this so it lays. No, I'm not. No. I want to center it here. So I'm noticing where that flap is, and I'm centering it left to right. And there we go. We have that like that. Isn't it adorable? So cute. And you have plenty of room to write. I love that. And the inside of the card is already decorated. So really no need to do anything else, right? You like that? All right, so he's really, really sweet. I love the dimensions of the flowers sticking up and down. So very quickly, I just wanted to show you another one that I did and one that I'm going to do. I'm not going to do two today because I want to talk to you about what's left of celebrations here. And if anybody has questions about being a demonstrator, get them ready. Okay, so here's one that I did with the badgers. And instead of the flowers, I just put some hearts. And it looks cute. Maybe a little more masculine than the floral ones. And open it up, I just kept that plaid throughout the whole card. So you don't have to mix and match, but you certainly can if you want to. So there's those. And then here's the one we did today. And then here's the one that's coming next, which I'm not going to do in front of you. I will show you pictures. I always post the pictures on Facebook after the video in a separate post, and then invite you to do some of your own. You can always post your pictures in the comments. And I really encourage you to do that because you might have different stamp sets, you might have different dyes, different ideas, different colors. So we like to see those. So these are the other colors I'm going to use. I'm going to use this for the front. Let me fold that just quickly so you'll get the idea. Okay, I did not cut this one, you can see. So this is going to be in the front. I love that vine on there and the very casual lines. And I'm going to use this one on the inside because I haven't used that one yet. And then I could either mix and match all three and do that, or I can keep the lines with the vine. Now notice there is an up and down to the vines. They're going up. I go this way. I mean, vines can go down too. I'm sorry, but I kind of like them going up. They would be fine going across if your card was horizontal. Right, so that's what's going to happen there. And then I have the idea of we can use this in this direction as well. So I'm not going to cut those hearts out, but I'm going to just glue these hearts on there. And here's my other one. And I will stamp my one of my little critters, not sure which one, but I will put them on there, probably die cut them and put them up with dimensional so I have more dimension there. But just to let you know, you don't have to use it like an arch with the rounded part on top. You can use it this way also. So I will continue to do that another time. Look for that to be posted later. All right, so I'm working on a lot of things. I'm working on making some swaps for when I go to Raleigh for On Stage, the convention this year, which I will be getting the new catalog for the next coming year, the next annual catalog. I'll be seeing the new products. And although I cannot show you the catalog ahead of time, if I order products, did you get that? If, of course, I'm going to order some products. I can order products new and ahead of time, even ahead of regular demonstrators, because I'm going to On Stage. They give us like an extra few days to order products. So I will order some things and be able to share them with you right away so you know it's coming. So that's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. And thank you for all your comments, everybody. And like I said, please leave a comment and share and like and whatever. I really appreciate that. That helps me. It helps my channel. And I love sharing with more people. Okay, so I'm going to watch the comments very closely. I'm going to focus on each comment. And I'm just wondering if you have, I'm going to try to just answer your questions first. So some of you are even demonstrators already. If you are a demonstrator, you've been enjoying something about being a demonstrator, go ahead and type that in there. What's one of your favorite things about being a demonstrator, or something about being a demonstrator that you really love? It doesn't have to be your favorite, but something that you love. Maybe a perk that you weren't aware of, or something that has been very beneficial to you. All right, so I know I have some of my downline on here, and maybe some other people are demonstrators. So just feel free to share or ask anything. And then if I haven't covered certain things I want to tell you, then I will fill in the gaps. Okay, oh, thank you, Michelle. Oh, okay, so Michelle, I have something here. I got some happy mail. I got some happy mail. Must have come yesterday, but I got the mail today. Wrapped in some DSP, the Daisy DSP. Now, some of you might know that I call my group the Daisy Bunch. Okay, it's the official name registered with Stampin' Up. And so we're the Daisy Bunch because I love daisies. And that's in my logo. So today, this comes in here. It says a very belated anniversary gift. You're the best. So this is from my friend Michelle Collins. That's on right now. And in here was, look at this adorable little zipper bag. This little pouch has the daisies on it. Thank you, Michelle. Oh my gosh. It is so adorable. I love it. I love the black and white with a pop of color, and I love the daisy logo on there. And it's going to be great for either cosmetics or some of my stamping supplies. I just opened it like an hour before I came on live, so I haven't even decided how I'm going to use it yet, but it's going to get used because I just love that. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. Okay. All right. All right. So Suzanne, yes, the discount is great as a demonstrator. Let me talk to you about the discount. When you join, you automatically get a 20% discount. I will switch my camera back. And you can work your way up to a 25% discount when you promote to a title of what's called Bronze Elite. And that you get to Bronze Elite when you have $1,800 in 12-month rolling sales. Okay, so once you hit that threshold, then you can then enjoy 25% discount. You will, if you have any customers or order from you, you will get that 20% commission, and that gets deposited right into your bank account that you designate to Stampin' Up. And if you're Bronze Elite or higher, then you get that 25% commission from the from your customers. So that's always fun. Oh, okay. Thanks, Michelle. I love having you on the team too. All right, and I see Laverne. She's Daisy. She's on the team. Thanks for coming on. And we have Patty. Patty Rohr is on the team as well. And Joanne just joined, so she's going to start enjoying all these products too. So these perks, whatever. So number one, you get that discount. Is anybody interested in? Okay, how much you have to sell or have? Well, number one, you don't have to sell anything if you don't want to, as long as your personal sales meet the minimum that you need for the quarter. So every quarter you need $300 in sales. So that means that it could be your own purchases, it could be yours plus customers or only customers. It doesn't matter. Sales are sales, whether they're yours or customers. So when I joined, I didn't have any customers. I was working full-time as an elementary music teacher, and a daughter that I was raising with my husband, and life was busy. So I wasn't looking to make a business. I just wanted to get the discount because I realized I was spending that amount of money at the craft store and getting products that were inferior. I love the Stampin' Up products. I tried the craft store stuff, not good, and things didn't match. One of the best things about the Stampin' Up, as you all know, is the color coordination, right? Okay, look at this. The DSP and the cardstock and the inks, they all work together, right? So that's the thing. I said, all right, phooey on the other stuff. I can spend the same amount, get better products, and support my hobby. So that's what I did. I luckily I was able to meet that 300. Now, here's how that 300 works. It's not truly 300. It's actually less because you get a 20% discount. That 300 that you have to have in sales is before your discount. So you are really paying $240, right? So, and that can equal approximately, if you're a person who likes to budget, that's about $80 a month. And, especially if you're one who likes to do outreach projects, a lot of people I know make cards for their church or cards for troops, or have big families, like to make a lot of cards, and, you're going to easily do that. You will easily make it. Okay, the ink pad bundle of retiring colors was in. Oh, okay, Susan, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, see, the retiring colors, people are knowing it's going to go. So if there's anything you want, check it out. I do love those colors, I have to admit. I'm going to really miss gonna really miss them. I love the boho blue. The moody mauve was, I loved it. It wasn't one that I used a lot, but when you wanted a soft, mellow pink, that was there. Um, and I do like the wild wheat. Not everybody does, but I like that using in small amounts, like this. It's beautiful with black, and I like it. So yeah, jump on that. Thank you for that information. Right. So really, that 300 is really 240 out of your pocket. All right, a quarter. And when you join, you do not have to meet that minimum until your first full quarter. So if you were to join now, you're in the middle of the January, February, March quarter. You do not have to meet that 300 until the second quarter, which would be the end of April, May, June, end of June. So that's a pretty good deal. What happens if you quit? You don't want to continue, or you don't meet your minimum. Well, Stampin' Up gives you a grace month. So let's say you don't do 300 by June. July, you have that time to make up the 300, plus then start to work on your next 300 for the next quarter. But if you don't make it, you're just dropped. Stampin' Up will not ask you for products back. They will not give you a penalty. You will not have to pay something. That's it. It just doesn't work, and it's okay. You can go back to being a customer. It's quite all right. So a lot of people like to give it a try, and some of my new demonstrators that joined this year are giving that a try. They're trying that, and like I said, you don't have to have a business. A lot of people will say, "Oh, I don't want to do videos." You don't have to do videos. I didn't do videos until 2020, right? Because I was busy doing other things, and I didn't learn the technology and everything yet. But granted, I'm my demonstratorship is thriving, and I'm doing a lot better now that I am reaching out with people. But that's all up to you. You don't have to. Most of my team are just hobbyists, and a couple of them have some friends that are ordering from them. That helps offset their minimum too. You have a friend that's going to order $50, and you only have to do $250, and after your discount, it's even less, right? So that's all it could be. If you have friends that like to craft with you, then share that opportunity with them, because as we all know, it's kind of a fun thing. Before I go on talking, are there any other questions? Okay, I'm going to scroll down and see if anyone has another question. Okay, Patty says the 25% is really nice. Absolutely. Okay, so there are other perks that don't have to do with finances. Stampin' Up support is very, very helpful. Even as a customer, if you've ever had a call, they're very nice and very helpful. Okay, they know a lot and very friendly. Demonstrator support, same thing. Okay, so there's a website that you have access to where you can see your reports, your sales. You can see weekly news of things that are happening. You can get advance notice of sales that are coming up. You have Stampin' University has ways to show you videos and advice for either starting a business or just doing projects. It's very easy to order from there and just get your instant discount. It has, like I said, weekly news, and you get to order your things from any new catalog or the online exclusives. You get to order a month early. So you get to play with the products before anyone else sees them. And that way, if you do have some customers, you get to show them what's coming, and you get to play with them a little bit so that you can show your customers, how to use the products, and everybody can get excited about that. Also, there is a Facebook group that Stampin' Up has, and a lot of demonstrators share projects there. You get a lot of information. You got a lot of help. You can post questions to the group, and somebody out there is going to answer them if Stampin' Up, if you don't call Stampin' Up directly. You get a lot of advice and inspiration. Like I said, you get to be part of my private Facebook group for my team. You get to get free tutorials from me whenever I give out printed tutorials or classes online for my customers, or things that I'm running. Say, like, when I do a bingo, or I do certain customer appreciation type classes, my downline is invited for free, and they get all my printed tutorials for free. They don't have to order from me. I want them to order for themselves and get their own discount and meet their minimums. But they will get all printed materials. Anything that's not going to cost me product, they get. And we have monthly meetings where we support each other, we share, we do projects. So it's nice to be able to meet people from all over. The connections are fabulous. People said that before I joined. I said, yeah, I've got plenty of friends. I don't need more connections. I mean, not that I don't want them, but that wasn't like something I felt I was in need of. But I have to admit, it's all true. I have friends all over the country that I've met at conferences, that I've met online, that the customers have turned to friends. Some of them have turned to downline, and we're just so close now. And some of my team members have met up with other people and are friends now. Like, for example, Debbie is online here. We've been meeting up on Facebook here for a long time, and we finally got to meet at one of the incentive trips. So it was so fun to say, oh, Debbie. Actually, she ran up to me. It was like, Lorraine. I was like, who's this person? And then I saw her name tag, and I knew right away. So it was fun, but just nice to know that you're part of a big community of people who love what you love. Right. So it's really, really a lot of fun. Yeah, so I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I haven't covered yet. But if you do have any other questions, please let me know. And of course, you can join anytime. But right now, the join offer is, you have two options. Option one, you can, the starter kit is $99 plus tax. You get free shipping on whichever option you choose, and you get to choose $125 worth of product. That's the same offer that happens all year long. Okay. However, right now during celebration, like we said, it's the last night. You have until midnight Mountain Time, 11:59 technically. So you can either choose 2 packs of the Stamp and Write markers. Let me show you what they look like if you are unfamiliar. So Stamp and Write markers come in color families. So there's the neutrals, which has your grays and browns and beige. You have the regals, okay, which are your deeper, richer colors. You have your brights, which are bright, okay, and I say pastel subtles, which are more pastel type colors. You can choose 2 of these packs, 2 of them. That's amazing. Plus, you get an extra stamp set that's only available through this package. I'll show you right here. You see it in the back of the catalog. And if I can hold it close to the camera here, it is called Handmade Design. So you have a nice big flower, which could be, I don't know, a hydrangea or a zinnia or something really big. And you have a potted plant. You have some little labels and stuff like that. So this option here is your best option as long as you don't already have the markers. Okay, 2 sets plus this. It's an additional $91 value. Additional $91 on top of your $125, which you're only paying $99 for. And plus, you got the free shipping. Plus, Stampin' Up! Sends you a past paper pumpkin kit, so that's another fun freebie. And you do get some business materials. You know, if extra catalogs if you want to pass them out or hand them off to anybody. All right, so that's option one. Option two, you pay $99, you get 125 plus another $30. So you get $155 worth of stuff for 100. If you are placing an order of $99 or more, just do the starter kit. Nobody's going to hold you to anything, and you'll start getting a discount. And if you continue, fine. If not, fine. Okay. If you want to start having a few customers and start a business, I'm here to help you with that too. Some of my downline people were just hobbyists, but then they found a friend who started ordering from them, and that helps offset their minimum. And so some of my downline people have a few customers, and that's fine. So it could be any level you want. It's your own time. You can do whatever you want with it. So there you go. You have to keep track of your sales for tax purposes. Okay, so I am not here to give tax advice, but if you are claiming a certain profit and taking deductions, of course, you have to claim that. But like I said, I am not an accountant, and tax rules are different in different places. So that is something that I'm going to defer that you talk to your own tax people who would know the answers to that question. I cannot be liable for giving you that advice, not knowing more than I do for my own. Okay, so I do, at my level, I do have significant sales. So absolutely, I have to claim it as income. It is income. And plus the incentive trips that I earn, I do have to pay tax on that. But you know what? It's still a lot cheaper than paying the whole thing myself. The incentive trips you earn by getting points from people in your downline and your sales combined. So when your downline team members promote or have a certain level of sales, you get certain points. And then when you promote, you would get points also, and also your sales combined in that. So when I reach 40,000 points, I earn the incentive trip for the year. And Stampin' Up! Pays for the entire trip, usually includes meals because, well, once we were on a cruise, another time when we were in Mexico, we were in an all-inclusive resort. So all meals were paid. Even in Mexico, drinks were paid for too. So that was nice. We're going to Disney this year. We get a meal plan. We get to stay at the Grand Floridian. Airfare is paid for. But yes, I do have to pay taxes on the value of that. But like I said, it's going to be a lot cheaper than me paying those trips. Plus, you are there with many other demonstrators who love what they do. And very often, either Sarah and or Shelly are on the trip with you, and you get to hang out with them. Now, just to let you know, I have to give a disclaimer, and this is not bragging, but people who earn this trip there are less than 1% of all the demonstrators earn the incentive trip or are at this level. Okay, there are plenty of demonstrators who do way more than I do, trust me. But Stampin' Up! Does require us to give that disclaimer. And, if I don't, I would get a reminder. Okay, you didn't say this, so go back and, So, and it's true. We don't want everybody to think, oh, yeah, I'm going to join, and then all of a sudden earn a trip. So it takes work. It takes time. It takes work. And it's, my view, it's worth it for me because it's what I love to do. Okay, so good question. Thank you, Susan. I appreciate that. So yeah, definitely talk to whoever does your taxes or somebody who can advise you for your situation. I don't know anybody else's finances or budget or, whatever. So you have to kind of find that out yourself. Okay. All right. Any other questions? I'll wait a minute if you don't mind. Just like a couple of people said, kind of share or send me some thumbs up or hearts. I appreciate that. If you are going to order, let me put this up here, banners. You can go to my online store, Lorraine Sish at stampinup.net. And From there, you can order. You can also just join right from there. Okay. I've had people just sign up and join that I've never even spoken to before. It's that easy. You can just go there and do it. Of course, I reach out once you're a team member and we get to know each other a little bit. And even once you're on the team, you can decide to be as involved as you want or not. I've had some people who um, really enjoy the bonding and the meetings and doing things, and some of them are right on the live right now. But some people, are sometimes either busy or just want to do their own thing, and that's okay. I'm not going to bother you. I'm going to encourage you to try to get the most out of what you um, are offered and make the best opportunity and have fun. But I'm not a pressure person. Anybody who follows me should know that by now. So, but I am here for you, and I will remind you that I'm here for you. Okay, guys. So I guess that's it. Let me check for last minute comments here. I don't think I see any. If I haven't answered your question or you come up with another question, um, and then you can email me or reach out to me on Facebook or YouTube. I do check the comments every day, several times a day. All right. So if you need to email me, here's my email, Lorraine at stampwithlorraine.com. Easy. Don't even have to know my last name. Just Lorraine at stampwithlorraine.com. So anyway, thank you all for joining in either live or watching the replay. And I hope you have a fun weekend coming up. Happy Friday. Woohoo. And we'll see you again next time. All right, guys. Bye now.